You've heard it 1,000 times. The first 100,000 is the hardest. It feels like a mountain, a number that belongs to other people with different jobs, different zip codes, different luck. But the path to your first 6 figures is not magic. It's math, systems, and momentum. Today, I'll give you a plan that works at almost any income. How to set up the machine, how much to put in, how to find the money when it feels like you don't have it, how to use employer matches and simple index funds, and how long it really takes. By the end, you'll know your number and your timeline. Then it's just reps. Start with the target. $100,000 invested is not just a flex, it's a turning point. Above that level, compounding starts to pull more than you do. At average long-term market returns, assume roughly 7% a year, not guaranteed. 100,000 throws off about 7,000 a year without you lifting a finger, and that annual growth keeps growing. Getting to that first 100,000 is like pushing a car to the top of a hill. The rest of the ride is gravity and steering. Now set the rules of the game. Rule 1. Pay yourself first, automatically. If your money hits checking and then you promise to invest whatever's left, you will lose that promise to groceries and life. If your money goes to investing before you see it, you win by default. Rule 2. Take the employer match before anything else. If your job matches 5% and you don't take it, you're saying no to a 100% instant return on that 5%. You cannot outsmart free money. Rule 3. Keep it boring and cheap. A low-cost total market index fund or broad ETF is the core. We're not picking heroes here. We're buying the whole team. Rule 4. Move the dial 1% at a time. Turn on auto increase, so your contribution bumps up 1% every quarter or every year until you hit your target savings rate. You won't feel it, but your future self will. Rule 5. Protect the plan. A small emergency fund, a debt strategy for anything high interest, and a do not cash out early mindset are the guardrails that stop you from raiding your future in a bad week. Let's put numbers on it so it feels real. Time to 100,000 depends on how much you can invest each month. At 7% annual returns, compounded monthly, about $300 a month gets you there in a little over 15 years. $250 a month takes about 17 years. $400 a month, almost 13 years. $500 a month, roughly 11 years. $750 a month, a little over 8 years. $1,000 a month, about 6.5 years. That's the math. Now, let's translate that into real paychecks and real lives. If you make around $39,000 a year and your employer matches 5%, you can start with 5% from you and 5% from them. That's roughly $160 a month from you and the same from your employer, about $325 a month working for you on day one. At that pace, you reach 100,000 in about 14.5 years, and you only carried half of that monthly weight yourself because the match doubled your first dollars. If you auto-increase your own contribution from 5% to 10% over time, while the match stays 5, you're at about $480 to $500 a month combined, and the timeline tightens to roughly 11 years. If you add a small side income, say $300 a month, and you send that to the same fund, you turn an 11-year journey into something closer to 8 or 9. Not because you hustled forever, but because you moved the needle for a season and locked in the game. If you make around $60,000 a year and do 10% plus a 5% match, that's $750 a month invested, and you're looking at a little over 8 years to 100,000. If you make $90,000 and you can hit 15% plus a 5% match, that's about $1,500 a month, and your first 100,000 shows up in under 5 years. The pattern is simple. Savings rate is your steering wheel, and the match is nitrous. But what if I'm starting at zero with debt and no cushion? Then you begin with a stabilization sprint. Build a micro-emergency fund, 250, 500, 1,000 fast. Sell 2 things you don't use. Cut 1 recurring bill you won't miss next month. Call your providers and ask for a lower rate. You'll be shocked how often it works. This tiny buffer stops small surprises from becoming new debt. While you build it, still capture the employer match if you can. Even a 3% contribution often fits if you swap 1 or 2 line items temporarily. Next, attack high-interest debt with a hybrid method. Knock out the smallest balance first for momentum, then move to the highest APR for maximum math. Set minimums on the rest, automate the payment on the target, and throw every dollar of found money at it. Raises, refunds, side cash. Every dollar of interest you stop paying is a dollar you can redirect to your first 100,000. While that's happening, set up your investment autopilot in whatever account makes sense for you. In the US, employer plan first for the match, then a Roth IRA if you're eligible, then back to the 401k or a plain brokerage once you've hit the match. In Canada, go for the group RRSP match, then TFSA for tax-free flexibility, then back to RRSP. Keep fees low and the core simple: a total US market fund plus a total international fund, or a single all-in-one target date or asset allocation ETF that stays balanced for you. If you have an HSA in the US and you're eligible, learn the triple tax strategy. Contribute pre-tax, invest it, pay current medical costs out of pocket if you can, save receipts, and reimburse yourself tax-free later. That HSA can become a stealth retirement account and help you hit the first 100,000 sooner. Now let's find your monthly number without stress. Start with your net pay. Route money into 4 buckets automatically: bills, everyday spending, freedom fund for irregulars, and future you for investing. If bills and must-haves eat everything today, use 3 levers that don't hurt as much as they sound. Lever 1, the 1% rule. Increase your contribution by 1% every quarter until you stop noticing it. In a year, you're up 4% without feeling punched. Lever 2, the rent delta. If renting is cheaper than buying where you live, commit to investing the difference on autopilot instead of letting it evaporate. Lever 3, the loyalty audit. Once a year, reshop insurance, phone, and internet. Companies quietly raise prices on long-term customers who never call. A 30-minute phone call can unlock $20 to $50 a month that you redirect straight to your plan. Add one small income play if you want to cut the timeline without sacrificing your sanity. You don't need a unicorn, you need plus 300 a month you can believe in. Pet seating, tutoring, weekend facilitation, niche freelancing, seasonal event shifts, or a small service like lawn care or house cleaning. 1 night a week is enough. Stack that for a season, automate it into your investments, and keep your day job energy intact. Bonus: when you get a raise, route at least half of it to future you before your lifestyle absorbs it. That's how you fight lifestyle creep without feeling deprived. 50% to the plan, 25% to savings, 25% to fun, or any ratio that keeps you moving and smiling. Let's talk about speed boosts. A tax refund is not found money, it is fuel. Drop it into the machine and your timeline shrinks. A small signing bonus? Same story. A chunky expense ended because you finished paying a car? Keep making the payment, but to yourself. Redirect it to your index fund. That one habit can be worth years. If you can add even a small lump sum at the beginning, compounding gets a head start. 5,000 upfront plus 500 a month gets you to 100,000 in around 10 years instead of 11. 10,000 upfront drops it below 10. You don't need it, but it helps. While you build, ignore the noise. You don't need hot stock tips. You don't need to time markets. You don't need to win on options or chase coins. The goal is participation, not prediction. If the market dips, your automatic contributions buy more shares at a discount. If the market rises, your balance swells and you smile. Either way, you show up every paycheck. That's the habit that separates people who get there from people who try for a month and stop. Remember the quick mental shortcut for how long might my money take to double? Divide 72 by your approximate return. At 7%, a rough doubling is about 10 years. It won't be exact, but it reminds you that time matters as much as dollars. The earlier you start, the less heroic your monthly number needs to be. Set a scoreboard so you feel the game. Make a one-pager with your target, your current balance, your monthly contribution, your next auto-increase date, and your why. Tape it inside a closet door. Update it once a month, not every day. Watching it tick up is addictive. More important, it keeps you calm when markets wiggle. Celebrate milestones at 10,000, 25, 50, 75. Do something small and memorable each time, and do not blow up the plan to do it. Protect the plan with simple guardrails. Keep 1 to 3 months of expenses in cash once you're past the micro fund. It's the shock absorber that stops you from selling investments in a storm. Keep good insurance, health, renters or homeowners, auto, and if someone depends on your income, term, life. Put your passwords in a manager that works offline when you need it. Turn on account alerts. Freeze your credit if you're not applying for anything. Little things prevent expensive surprises. If you're thinking, I'm late, this won't work for me, the truth is you don't need to be perfect. You need to be consistent. A 40-year-old starting at $500 a month still hits $100,000 in roughly 11 years. A 25-year-old at $300 a month gets there near age 40. A 32-year-old who can push to $750 a month crosses the line in a little over 8 years. You can change jobs, move cities, have kids, go back to school. Life can be messy, and the math still works if the contributions keep coming. Miss a month? Fine. Make the next one. The only way to lose is to stop playing. When you finally see 6 figures on that screen, 2 quiet things happen. First, your money starts making more money than you do on many months. Second, your stress drops because you are no longer one surprise from panic. That is financial oxygen. From there, you decide whether to keep pressing to 200, to 500, to independent. The system that got you to 100,000 is the same system that gets you anywhere else. Pay yourself first, take the match, keep costs low, increase slowly, protect the plan, ignore the noise. So here's your action plan in one breath. Log into your HR portal and set your contribution to capture the full match. Turn on auto increase by 1%. Open the right account for your situation, a Roth IRA or TFSA if eligible, otherwise your employer plan or a simple brokerage, and choose a low-cost broad index fund or an all-in-one target date fund. Build a quick micro-emergency fund so you stop adding debt. Pick one bill to negotiate and one subscription to cut. Pick one small side play to try for 90 days and route every dollar to your investments. Write your current monthly number and your first milestone on a sticky note where you'll see it. Then let the machine run. The first 100,000 isn't a lottery. It's a staircase. And you just took the first step. Education only, not financial advice. Now tell me your monthly number in the comments and the one move you're making this week to make it real.